This is your Literary Performance Challenge, week number 9. Paragraph. My name is Susan, and I have a very interesting story to tell all of you. Period. Paragraph. The date was March 27, 2010, period. I woke up at exactly 5 a.m. to take the test, period. I already knew the results would be positive and that it would change my life forever, period. You have to know that at that time, I was only 17 years old, period. I was always a good kid, period. I never got into any trouble, period. I never drank or did drugs, and I always made very good grades, period. Paragraph. The fact that this was my first serious relationship I had ever been in, period. I had been dating my boyfriend for 2 years, and I loved him with all my heart, period. The good thing was that he felt exactly the same way about me, period. This thought was very comforting to me as I was spending the time waiting for the results of the test, period. Paragraph. After what seemed like a long time, it was time to find out, period. As I had already known in my heart, the test was positive, period. I was pregnant, period. Paragraph. I did not know what I was going to do, period. I did not want to talk to any of my friends about it because I was living in a very small town, period. I knew that people would talk and that it did not matter how great a mother I would be, period. I also knew that they would judge me and my child, period. I knew what talk in a small town was all about, period. Paragraph. The next few weeks went by very quickly, period. I became engaged to be married, period. I had a wedding to plan, a house to find, and was still trying to balance all of that with going to school, period. I knew I had to keep my grades up and go on with life like everything was just the way it had been a month earlier, period. Paragraph. Finally, I was married and living on my own without my parents to cook and clean for me. After my junior year of high school was over, we decided to move from our hometown to another town across the state, period. It was at that time that I felt my life seemed to calm down a bit, period. I now had the time to deal with the fact that I was only 17 and going to be a mother, period. Paragraph. It only took a little time, but my father began to speak to me again, period. Things started to fall into place after that happened, period. I was getting used to taking care of myself and my husband, period. Paragraph. The next thing I knew, it was time to start school again, period. This was going to be my senior year, period. The new school was twice the size of the school in the town in which I had spent my entire life, period. A few months into my senior year, life started to seem normal again, period. I went to school every day, period. I made new friends and also kept my grades high, period. Paragraph. In November of that year, I had my first appointment with the doctor, period. I had no idea what I would learn, period. They told me that my son was very healthy and that if I was ready, comma, they could induce labor then so it would be easier for me to have him, period, paragraph. They told me to come to the hospital the next afternoon, period. I knew this would be the biggest challenge yet, period. I would actually have a new life to care for, period, paragraph. On that afternoon, comma, the nurse came into my room and told me it was time to go to the delivery room where I would be given medicine to make me have my baby, period. Early the next morning, comma, I gave birth to my son, period. I was finally a mother, period. That meant no more going out with my friends, comma, spending very little time by myself, comma, and never getting a full night's sleep for some time, period, paragraph. I took my son home 2 days later, period. I had a lot to learn about being a mother, but I was determined to be the best mother I could be, period. The night I brought my son home, comma, he slept with me in my bed, period. He woke up 4 times that night to eat, period. I could not sleep at all because all I wanted to do was lay there watching him, comma, making sure he was still breathing, period. It was hard to believe that I had brought this precious life into this world, period, paragraph. I went back to school in January, period. I thought that leaving my baby that day would be the hardest thing I would ever have to do, comma, but we both made it through it, period. He went to daycare every day and I went to school, period. I thought I was doing a wonderful job of being a mother, comma, but when my son was 3 months old, comma, he developed a serious infection, period. It was horrible to see him in the hospital, period. It seemed that he had developed asthma, comma, so I had to learn how to take care of him in a different way, period. I felt like I was the worst mother in the world because my son was sick all of the time and I could not do anything to fix it, period, paragraph. As I can tell you, comma, being a mother is the hardest yet most rewarding job a woman can have, comma, no matter how old she is, period. My son is almost 2 years old now, period. I am still changing and learning with him, period. I thank God that this is the direction my life took and that I was lucky enough for my life to change around a sweet baby boy, period. We are happy in our marriage and with our new baby boy, period, paragraph.